Friday, it's the 14th of November. I'm Don Connolly.
And I'm Elizabeth Logan.
Coming up in the first hour, an ode to Painless Parker.
He challenged the establishment and pushed the envelope with his own profession. He was a dentist. Painless Parker, one of this region's most colorful pioneers. His story has been told many times. Halifax dentist Peter Pronich wrote the book, The Early Adventures of Painless Parker.
Morning, Peter.
Good morning, Don.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Very well. This is a fabulous guy, this Painless Parker.
Oh, he's amazing.
Is he a real dentist or is he really a huckster?
No, he was a real dentist.
Was he?
Yeah, he was a real dentist. He studied to be a dentist, and we were very fortunate that we found his actual diploma, which proved once and for all that he really was a dentist. Now, we have no idea whether that was a fraudulent document or not, but it sure looks authentic to us. It's in Latin, as you were saying.
Well, look, let's talk a little bit about, give us the very short biography, if you will, and we'll talk a little more in the detail, but just give us the big, quick sketch of his life.
Wow, that's hard to do. From someone who is so close to it, it's really difficult, but I'll try to just mention to you that he actually was regarded by the dental profession as an outlaw, as a renegade, because of the way he approached the way he did dentistry. He was a real showman. He developed his technique for doing this when he was growing up in New Brunswick. He was born at Tynemouth Creek. He took that ability that he had to the people. He found when he didn't have people coming to him, he went to the people, and the best way of doing it was in organizations or in situations such as county fairs.
Now, generally speaking, at the time when he was operating, which would have been, when would he actually have been practicing dentistry?
He got his dental diploma, dental degree, in 1892, and he practiced until the day he died.
At the turn of the century, then?
Exactly. When dentistry was pretty rough.
I was going to say that generally speaking, dentistry was a pair of pliers, wasn't it?
It was a pair of pliers done in a barber shop or in a blacksmith shop or in a physician's office. And many times they used things like daggers to take out the teeth as well. So it was a pretty crude thing at that time.
You had a problem with your teeth, you pulled it out, basically.
That's it exactly. However, I must say that they did start to develop amalgam, the silver filling that goes in teeth, about 1850. It became used. It wasn't used in a very good fashion, but it was a crude method of taking and filling up the hole.
But it probably wouldn't be happening very much in the rural areas of New Brunswick where he was, or here in Nova Scotia.
Absolutely not. He didn't do anything like that at all.
Out came the teeth.
Out came the tooth.
Now, Painless Parker, apart from his sort of high-profile method of promoting his practice, he was interested in good dental health.
Yes. Yeah, he had the premise that he really wanted to be getting to the people themselves. He wasn't interested in the people who could afford dentistry. He was more interested in the people that couldn't afford dentistry, and he catered everything to them. Hence the sideshows and the performances where they would gather.
Now describe one of those for the people who haven't seen the book and haven't seen the movie yet.
Well, Painless Parker developed a really fancy technique, and he developed that after working with a fellow by the name of the great William True, who was a patent snake oil salesman who he met out on the West Coast. They teamed up for about 3 months, and he developed a technique where he would have an outdoor performance on a stage or on the back of a flatbed wagon or whatever that was available. And it always had a chair. And at the heyday of his performances outdoors in New Brunswick, it consisted of a chair, a small Dixieland band with the members dressed up in colorful red and white striped jackets. The little group was usually a drum, a trumpet, and
a drill.
A drill, exactly.
Played musically.
So Painless would strut up on the stage and extol the advantages of having people look after their own teeth and why they should look after their own teeth. And then he would parade around the person who was selected from the crowd, usually because of a rotten smile. They had a pleasant grin, but a rotten smile. Mm-hmm. And they paraded him up onto the stage and put him ceremoniously on a chair. And then Painless would take a quick look into the patient's mouth. He had a pair of extraction forceps or pliers in a holster up his sleeve. He was very gaudily clad in a top coat and breeches, but he always had that air of professionalism by having a white clinic coat. So they could always tell who Painless was.
Now, when he was doing this kind of performance, would he primarily have been taking Buddy with the pleasant grin but the rotten smile? Would he be extracting primarily, or would he also be doing some fillings?
No, he did the extractions on the stage.
Yep.
And he did that to show people how painless he really was. Yeah, he was very clever. He could do a quick diagnosis to find out in the patient's mouth, and usually there were many rotten teeth, but find the one that was either very badly abscessed or one that was loose because of gum disease. And the band would play, and then when the time came for the extraction to occur, he paraded in front of the patient, waving his hands up and down, and then he gave a sign to the band, and they played really loudly. Now, the drum was in one ear, the cornet was in the other ear, and the banjo was behind. So if you can imagine the loud noise, this was a really a clever way of dealing with the pain, because he was using audio analgesia. That means he overwhelmed the pain sensation by the sheer noise.
Dentists are using that now. They're giving you headsets and telling you to turn it up.
Yeah, but it's much more sophisticated now, you have to admit.
No, I don't know. I don't like the oompa band in my dentist.
Well, I can see you're starting to perspire, and that's not good. We want to get out
you're in the room here.
Yes.
But did he ever make any money? Was he making money at this?
Well, in the 1923s, when he really hit his heyday, and he was developing his clinics out in California, and the first book doesn't go into that, but the book, which is much longer, goes into his California days. He had set up clinics, franchise clinics, and in these clinics, he was able to produce about $3 million a year in 1923.
What?
So he did very, very well. But he wasn't able to do
No wonder all you other dentists didn't like him.
No, that's the reason.
Yeah, but I mean, that must have been part of it. If he was running around town, running around the country, running around both countries, making that kind of money, he was a renegade both in style, but also there must have been a certain resentment of his success.
Well, there was. I'm sure there was. And it's unfortunate because he did bring a lot of dentistry to the crowds, the majority of the people who otherwise wouldn't have received any dental care at all.
Yeah.
Dr. Peter Pronich is the author of The Early Adventures of Painless Parker, published last year by Lancelot Press.